Tom James, come in and take your seats, please. Take your seats. We are about to begin the program right now, so come on in, take your seats, and be ready. Ladies and gentlemen, give a hearty Tom James welcome to our co-MCs, LeVar Smith and Sheila Khanna.
Get my line dance on. Need to work off that lunch.
Oh, tell me about it.
It's a good lunch.
Man, I don't know about you, but those breakout sessions that we just got out of, I feel more informed in that hour and a half
Really?
than I have in the last few months. My Lord.
Mine was good too.
Who'd you have?
I got to hear John Talley and Michelle Kaiserman. They did a wonderful job. A couple of the things I picked up on are how Michelle keeps a tally not only of Tom James clothing in her clients' closets, but also clothing from other companies. And she makes sure that it is properly accentuated with Tom James stuff. And so I just thought that was really cool that she is all up in their closet, no matter where it comes from. And then secondly, she's also so customer focused that she's willing to, if there's a different colleague who works that area who can serve them properly, serve them better than she could, because she works a 2-day-a-week schedule, she's willing to do that for the customer. And I know personally, sometimes I get caught up in transactions and units, and I haven't quite had that customer mindset. So that was very inspiring to me, Michelle, so thank you. What about yours? I saw a page, like 3 pages of notes in your playbook.
I had Jordan Yoakum, y'all. And for the rest of us that were in his session, I mean, that playbook is full of notes now. But I think the most important parts were, I mean, just how he says he's disorganized, but seems like a very systematic, organized dude to me, and how he's doing it. And it was a lot of putting the clients first, setting expectations properly, explaining that again if you need to, following through with new clients, current clients, clients that have bought tons of times. And I mean, the experience that follows just goes hand in hand all the way through it. So, I mean, I'm going to be doing a lot of work in systematizing when I get home.
Me too. That is awesome. So I'm loving the way this format is set up, where we have the general sessions and the breakout. We get to dig into it with a little more clarity.
Yep.
So I'm excited about what we have in store today.
Are you ready for what we have in store
I
next?
think so. I believe so.
Well, let me ask you something.
Okay.
What do you know about our women's side of the business?
Our women's side?
Do you think it's harder to book a prospect that's a woman or easier?
I don't know. I think it's pretty easy.
Okay, you're right. You're right. Do you think they buy more or less than guys?
Well, according to that video Justin Thomas did, he said it a bunch of times, they buy more, and I think he said their non-conformance is lower. Is that what he said? Is that what you said, Justin? Okay, I thought so.
It's true. Now, what's the top-selling ladies' jacket?
Top-selling ladies' jacket.
Or shirt?
Can I dial a lifeline? Can I phone a friend? Oh, that looks like
What's the shirt look like?
Magdalena? What's her name?
So close. Mirabelle.
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 Dang
You
it.
had the M. That's all that matters. But that's what today is going to be so fun. You're going to learn a lot.
Yes.
We're all going to learn a lot from the sounds of it.
Yeah, I think I need this session for sure.
So the rest of this afternoon is going to be breakout sessions, really focusing on women's business, taking care of women, explaining how simple it really is from the sounds of it, and just making sure that y'all have your playbooks to be taking plenty of notes on this.
Yes. And so we want to take it away and go into the session?
Yeah, let's talk about some women's stuff.
All right, let's check out the screens, y'all.
welcome to the stage from Minneapolis, Rebecca Garces.
Thank you. This afternoon is going to be so much fun. I walked up with also my white Stanley, and I'm going to tell you a little story about Stanley. Stanley is a 110-year-old company, and in 2019, they hit $73 million in sales. Their primary target audience were working men who needed to stay hydrated on job sites. In late 2019, 2020, a popular blog for women posted about this cup. And a blog for women posted about this cup, and her audience of women went crazy over it, causing it to go viral several times. Instead of brushing off this sudden surge in sales from a new and unexpected audience, like many brands do, Stanley's new global president decided they should go all in on this women's audience. They launched brand new colors that were pastels and colorful, opposite of what they had done for the past century. They did collabs with influencers and other popular brands like Starbucks. They created wait lists of thousands of women and sold out every new launch. This year, in 2023, they are projected to hit $750 million in sales. Sometimes you can have a winning product in your back pocket. You just need to get it in front of the right audience. Y'all, we have a winning product. Our women's line has never been better than it is today, and it's never been easier. We just need to get in front of them, and I look forward to the day when we will have surpassed our sales of $750 million in our women's business. Okay, so let's go to the first slide. I want to thank, if you guys could stand up, Craig Forrest, Stephen Harrow, and Fran Ferger. Since the inception of the women's line in 2020, our garments have grown to over 300 models. Guys, that's incredible. That is a tremendous amount of work, and we're so grateful to all of you. In the first few years alone, they've made it so simple for all of us to grow our business. Let's take a look at our sales growth. In 2020, we did $7.8 million in our sales. The next year, 21, 14.5, then 21.4, and this past year, 25.7. It's fun to grow. These numbers reflect where we've been with our early adopters. Let's take a look at where we're going collectively. This is simple. If each one of you in this room do 2 more transactions per month than what you're currently selling, we will sell $33 million next year. Let me repeat that. So if you sell 0 women right now, if you do 2 transactions next month, and then another 2 the next month, and for those of you who have already been working with women, you take a look at your numbers and you do 2 more transactions, we'll hit these numbers. In 2025, 41 million. In 2026, 50 million. When you think of our women's line as another tool in your tool belt to grow your sales, your income, your net worth, your client relationships, it just makes sense to start building your women's business as soon as possible. Our goal is to show you at this meeting how easy it really is and to eliminate a lot of your fears. Let's take a look at our next set of numbers. Our new partners right now are crushing it. They are adopting selling women at a faster rate, 14.38%. Whereas our veteran partners are a little more hesitant. We've got some trauma from the past, maybe. Okay, 9.7, it's okay, there's counseling. But I want to say to all of you partners who are new, thank you. I know you're still learning how to book an appointment on the phone and how to qualify your prospects and how to take good measurements and what to even look for at a fitting, but you are totally trusting the process and committing to growth, so thank you. For those of you who haven't fully adopted growing your sales by growing your women's audience, it may just be stepping out of your comfort zone for a short period of time, or confronting a fear in your head that might not even exist. You all already know how to find a need with a client, how to find a client's pain point, how to present cloth, and how to measure. It's the willingness to take a moment to learn a few new nuances. I promise you that you have what it takes to come out alive on the other side. Commit to serving everyone in your community, not just half of your community. Create a goal for yourself to grow 2 women clients per month if you haven't started yet. Most of the fears and anxieties that you have are a build up to the task and not the actual task itself, much like public speaking. Okay, once you do it, you'll never have to be that scared again. You'll be asking yourself, why didn't I start this sooner? So, first of all, I would like to bring up Sarah Bentley. She has been an integral part of building our women's business for the past 20 years. Sarah is going to be recognizing those sales professionals who are having a ton of fun working with women. Let's give Sarah a hand.
Hey guys. So I get the distinct privilege to be able to tell you guys about or recognize our top 20 from last year. And what's special about this is we're gonna have them stand up and do this really efficiently. So ladies, we're just gonna stand up and we're gonna give them a big round of applause as we go through all of them. And then afterwards, we're gonna have Ryden interview some of our folks. So let's get it started. So for number 20, we've got Fran Kobieski with 467 units. So make sure you're standing. If they're next to you, make them stand, because I can't see you. We got Raquel Torres with 474 at 19. We've got Lauren Smith at 481. We've got Ingrid Geisman at 17 for 488. We've got Sarah Slaper at number 16 with 488. It's pretty close. Number 15 is Tiffany Popson, 513. We got Ryden, who is one of our 2 gentlemen on the board here. I'd like for that to change, with 518 units. Alyssa Avalon with 528. We got Michelle Kaiserman, number 12, with 549. We got Bridget Basumi, with 610. We got Samantha Hammond, number 10, with 672. Mark and Ann Cleve with 675. We've got me up here. We've got Sheila Khanna at number 7, 802. We got Amanda Latimer with 1054. Guys, that's President's Club business in women. We got number 5, our leader, Becca Garces with 1179. We got Jill Scott, number 4, with 1228. We got Tate Sigerman with 1382. I'm out of breath. We got Sterling Warner at number 2 with 1877. And then Miss Cheyenne Peacock. Let them have it. Okay. Thank you, ladies, for going into this adventure with us. Cheyenne, you can stand back up, Missy. Thank you. This is exactly what I wanted for my birthday. Okay. So these numbers are actually through November, but if you can pull Cheyenne back up there. No, let's get me up there. Cheyenne did actually over 2,000 in the year of 2023. I noticed this. That is a chairman's club business in ladies' clothing. Come on, let them have it. You can still stand up. There's more. But wait, there's more. Okay, we have a little video special for you.
And congratulations on being our #1 seller of women's clothing. I was asked to share maybe a couple things I noticed, since I work with you. What do you do that might be part of the reason you're so successful with this? And I thought of 3 potential things. I know there's more. But one is you have incredibly well thought out systems. You have systems for clients, for new clients, and for handling situations, remakes, problems, such that you rectify whatever the problem is and you create confidence in the customer. And it's created a client experience where nothing falls through the cracks, and world-class service is not an accident. It is definitely purposeful. The other thing you do is you keep it really simple. So not only do you have these systems, but you also delegate them so you're not the one doing them all. And you focus on just doing some very simple things consistently. You have a very small number of dials that your focus is doing it each day. And I think that helps you. I mean, we all get off track and for whatever reason, and getting back on for you is not that hard because all you have to do is get back to doing the basic simple things you do and you're back on track. The other thing is your humility. And to me, it's we can talk about it and we can try to put others first and be more humble, and those are all good things. But the reality is, I think humility is part of your nature. The way you put Keith first and you care so much about him and Olivia, and how you care about yourself and your own personal well-being, but in a healthy way. And you care about your team and you're constantly looking for ways to elevate them, to create projections for them, to see where they fit in, and to take some of our bonus structure and be able to reward them. And you care about your clients, and all of that shows through. So they don't feel like they're a transaction. They feel like they're in a relationship with you. And, I know working with top performers, that's not always normal. You look at Michael Jordan and, some people might really like his success and feel like, that's just part of the deal. He was also kind of hated by many of his team members, but, maybe striving and accomplishments worth it. Personally, I'd rather lose with a group of people I love than win with a group of people I hate. And I think one of your secret sauce is you have created an environment that's a winning environment and people love to be around you. You've grown tremendously, even exponentially. And anytime you come to our office functions, you're the flame that everyone wants to be around. All of our female partners want to sit at your table. They want you sitting at their table. It is just so rare to see someone succeed so much and do it in a way that literally everyone is cheering them on. So congratulations. To say you deserve it is an understatement.
Thank you, Cheyenne. One more time for our top 20 women salespeople for the year. Woo woo! I think one thing that's worth noting about Cheyenne is, do you guys think that she just does that with women? When Bill was talking, I was like, that's how she is with all of her clients. And what I think I would encourage everyone out there is it's the same thing. You find people's hurt and you make it better, whether that's a man or a woman. And if you're already doing well in this business, you can absolutely do even better by putting the women's business into your growth story. And so with that, I'm going to bring up Rodden Bell, who has put ladies into his growth story. And he is going to interview some of the other folks that have also done this and have helped their growth stories. So, Ryden, can you come on up, sir? Oh.
Hello. I guess I can sit down in this chair. I'll have the people that know that they're going to be on the panel, Danielle, Claire, and Joe Price, if you guys will come to stage. Yay. Awesome. We asked these partners to be involved in this session just because they've had a lot of growth in their women's business throughout the past year at different tenures. So we're just going to ask them some questions and learn from them and see if we can be so extravagantly tenured like Joe and grow our women's business and also be a new partner and start crushing out the gates with new business sales. So I'm going to ask some questions, and I'll have some questions that y'all will all answer, and then I'll have some that are probably specific just based on tenure. So we can go down this way so you guys don't like look at each other being like who's gonna talk first. So Joe, first, how has it been selling to women compared to selling men for you and the actual tangibility of doing it?
Yeah, so, I'm very skeptical in just general. So when ladies' clothing was, reinvented in 2020 and there's these new models, I'm like, well, let's just see how this goes. So I kind of sat on the sidelines for a little bit. Pretty quickly, I learned that the people who are achieving the most in this company are the ones who are most open to new ideas. So watching people like Ryden and others sell lots and lots of ladies' clothing, they were hitting their goals and succeeding. So I was like, well, I'm open-minded to that. So I think that the easiest way to explain this is, what have you put intentional time and effort and understanding and have not been successful at in Tom James, right? You wouldn't do that very long if you weren't. It's the same level of attention and focus you put on selling custom sweaters or custom jeans or selling more shoes or whatever it might be in your business. But sometimes there's a mental block that we have that prevents us from doing that. So if you're one of those people like I was and you have big goals this year, I would just utilize it, because that's why we all are doing what we're doing here. We're all trying to utilize our tools that we have to sell, and ladies' clothing is a very, very, very large tool to use in hitting your goals.
Awesome. Danielle, go ahead.
Honestly, so as a new partner, whenever I first started, I was just kind of selling to anyone and everyone. And at this point, my number 2 client is a female. And it was really inspiring to me to just get in front of females. And then whenever I started coming to the national meetings, I realized that a lot of people were intimidated to sell to women. So it was pretty cool, because I was like, oh, well, I'm already selling to a couple of ladies. And I realized that it's more fun just because we do have a lot more options as ladies. And since I've always kind of been into the fashionista lifestyle, I guess, I do love to pair, funky colors and funky patterns together. And so you don't really get that if you're just in the store. So ladies really appreciate our custom wear. So.
Awesome. Thank you. Claire.
Will you ask the question again?
Yes, I will. Let me open up my iPad again. How is selling to women compared to selling men?
I feel like they're basically the same, kind of like what Danielle said. Most of my lady clients, they kind of know what they want, and just depending on what they do, showing them all of the options in terms of style, and then showing them fabrics that make sense for them. It's really easy for them to just kind of pick and choose after that. I feel like with at least some of my male clients, they're like, I don't understand how this is going to turn into an outfit. But ladies, I feel like it's easier to conceptualize a lot of the time, and I don't know, it's also way more fun.
Yeah.
So
They have more vision.
yeah.
Awesome. So Claire, you can start with this one so we can just zigzag back and forth. So how are fitting appointments different from men and from women clients?
For me, again, they're very similar. I think as long as you're setting proper expectations with your clients, for like my male clients, I usually tell them, like when I sell them, I say, 2 to 3 rounds of alterations is normal and expected, and then I remind them of that on the fitting. But for women, I say like 3 to 4, just to have that blanket of like, this is normal and it's okay. And then if we get your fit down sooner than that, like they are so excited and I'm so excited. So I think it's easy as long as you set proper expectations.
Do you feel like your fittings for women are 3 or 4 fittings for each woman, or do you think that it is less?
Very rarely, but you always have one off where they gain weight, it just happens, or they have like different preferences once they see the garment on. But most of the time it's usually very quick and like maybe 2 rounds of alterations, but hardly ever, I would say.
Yeah, I would say mine are also very similar. Recently, I think the only like issues are very minimal with my ladies, and it's just like a waist taken in is about the only alteration. So I usually leave the fitting like feeling pretty good about, like they're pretty confident because we do set those expectations to make sure they know, hey, there are going to be a little bit of tweaks that we'll take care of, but a lot of ladies are kind of used to that anyway. It's really hard to find stuff off the rack that already fits them, so they're kind of used to it. And so I would say for guys, it's kind of more of like teaching them, like, hey, this is normal, this happens. Whereas for ladies, you just mention it to them, and then they're good with it. So
That's awesome. Joe, I'll change your question a little bit. Sorry, I always like to throw some curveballs in there. It's like prepare for these questions as writing changes them while you're on stage. So what were your expectations of how you thought, as you were relatively obviously concerned going into the women's business and what fittings would be like? And then what were they really like? And what were the differences from kind of what you had expected and how they have been?
Yeah, that's a good question. Kind of like a dichotomy or an interesting way. I thought it was going to be completely different, right? I thought I'd be coming in there being someone that I'm not, like getting very excited and being very, just overly enthusiastic about swatches. And it wasn't like that. They kind of buy the same way that a guy buys, just they talk about it differently, and obviously you're selling different clothing, but it's very similar. So I think I was surprised that it was very transferable from what I had been the previous 10 years of my career doing. What I wasn't expecting that I was very pleasantly surprised by is how much they talk about the clothing and you. Like 10 times more than your male clients, I feel like, talk about you. I think guys, because, I know this is a big overstatement to make, but we don't like shopping. Women don't like shopping as much, if not more, than men don't like shopping. But they do it more. So you're really satisfying a craving they have to like get what they want over and over and over again, whereas men kind of maybe do it less, and they want to make it very efficient and very easy. Women want efficient, easy. They also want to make it fun. They want to do it many, many, many times throughout a season. So, sorry, you got something. I think that it's a very easy way to grow referrals because ladies will talk about their clothing to other women. They'll put you on group text. They'll start to like include you in their little clubs, organizations, groups, whatever it is. Whereas I think guys, you have to really try and pull that out when it comes to getting referrals.
Awesome. So Joe, what are some of your go-to items that you show new clients or your women clients?
I keep it really simple. I get very overwhelmed with all the models that we have. Anybody else feel the same way? So I don't really get that creative, unfortunately, with it. So sorry if that was not what you're expecting. I sell the LJ02. I use lots of pictures and models that I sell over and over and over again. I really try and find confidence in the models that I feel good showing, so I don't try and experiment with different models I've never sold before. And I find that, most of the lady clients I work with kind of know what they want, so I just show them whatever it is they need.
Awesome. Same question. So what are your like go-to items that you sell to women and your new women clients?
So I love to pitch capsules, but I always sell them one basic. So it's the the single button jacket, and then the straight leg pant is what I sell to everyone for the first time, and then either a button down or a blouse, whichever one they prefer. But I like to stick to tans, blacks, grays, blues, like whatever they're more comfortable with, whatever they wear more of. But I always just do their first outfit so that we can get their fit down, and then after that is when we kind of jump into, okay, so like how can we incorporate this into other clothing, and then how can we like make it mix with other patterns.
Do you want me to repeat the question, or are we good?
No, I'm good.
Okay, cool.
Very similar to what Danielle said, but different. I would say my go-tos would be a great basic pant. I feel like as a woman, it's the worst item to buy in a closet is finding a phenomenal, well-fitting pant. So that's like my go-to, whether it's a straight leg or honestly whatever they feel the most comfortable in. And more times than not, they'll tell you. And if they don't, go to the straight leg. And then again, like in a neutral color or black. That way they can pair it with things that they already have in their closet and see the versatility of what we do and how it can be incorporated in so many different ways in their closet already, and then building on with a capsule or whatever else like down the road. And then I also love, like, even in Houston, doing like a custom sweater, I feel like is really a go-to. They are lightweight and you can wear them a lot of the time, and they're very cute. So I like those.
Awesome. Claire, you can keep it for this next question that we'll roll into. Last one to the general group, then I'll get it specific towards everybody in their tenure. So how do you see women's sales growing, your overall sales going forward, and how's it incorporated into your goals?
I think it said like I'm at 27%. Does anybody remember that?
Roughly-ish.
I would like to have my women's sales be at least 50% of my business. Timeline-wise, I know it'll happen. I'm not too worried about the timeline on it, but I love my lady clients, and they've referred me to a lot of other lady clients, and they've turned into a lot of my really good friends, and I don't see why I wouldn't ever not work with women. I don't know.
That's good.
I also want to jump to about 50% of my sales to be women, just because I enjoy working with women a little bit more. I feel like it's a little less intimidating because sometimes, guys are going to trust what I say, but also if it's like a female to female, they're going to really appreciate my my outlook on, like making a functioning buttonhole, color pop, showing them different liners. And so just women have a little bit more fun. So I want to at least grow to at least 50% of my business female.
Awesome. Joe?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes.
I'm kidding. I think I'm around like 10%, so I'm not nearly as big my business as these ladies are, but I think a 25% percentage is probably a healthy number to have in ladies' business for now, and maybe I can expand my thinking to grow bigger past that. I think that the way I've viewed it now is whenever I have an appointment at a home, especially if it's with like a male client, I have the ability now to like double my sale, right? Like maybe I should prepare some ideas for his wife, even if it's a new business you never met. And vice versa. If I'm going to see a lady at her home or office, wherever it is, it's like I'm asking about her husband now, what he wears, what he does. So if you think about it that way, take your transactions, your new clients you have each month, and just double it. And then take your UPT and add that in there. What club would you hit this year? It really starts to give you a lot of hope and optimism that even if you just ask the question, hey, would you like to do something for your wife, or can we do something for your husband, you could literally double your sales.
Awesome. So Joe, you can keep the mic because we'll go a little bit more specific for you to start out. I was kind of in the ladies' business when there were the terms of only women should sell women, women are a nonconformance nightmare, and a little bit of those stereotypes. What would you say to kind of like those old methodologies?
I mean, we've said that about so many things, right? Like VOE, right? It's a headache, takes too long. It's like, I don't want to see any hands, but like, who doesn't use VOE, right? Like, we all use it, and it's great, and it's made our lives and businesses so much better. This is no different. There's gonna be early adopters, mid-level adopters, late adopters. I'm probably more of a late adopter, but my life and my business has been better because of it. So I don't think it's a question of, are those things true or are they not? Can women become nightmares for fitting clothing? Yes, but also guys can too. It's not either or. But naturally, we look for excuses when we don't want to accept challenge or when we don't want to learn something. And that's where our brains go and go back to your own excuses of why you didn't do things that the company has asked us to do. But one of the things that I feel very passionate about is whatever it is I'm most afraid of is probably the thing I should be probably working on the most. So if you're telling yourself those things or in the back of your head, like, yeah, well, I don't know about ladies, I don't want to mess with it. What are you really afraid of? Because it's probably what's holding you back from growth.
So this is another rogue question for you, Joe, so don't get too nervous. So it's like there's some skill sets that you have to gain to selling women, right? It's like prospecting, phone calling, the measuring, and those aren't things that you just wake up one day and know since you've decided that you're gonna sell women. What was that process and how did it look for you to gain those skill sets?
I'd like to thank Sarah Bentley and Rebecca Garces. I've called them many, many times. If you're one of the people in this room that is like me, where you didn't know everything about selling ladies, and you were kind of nervous and like where to begin, there's tons of knowledge out there. So yeah, it does take the effort of like picking up the phone and calling somebody. There's plenty of things on Tom James TV you can watch in your spare time when you're getting ready in the morning or on your drives that can educate you, but I'm not like an expert by any stretch of anything in this business. But I'm trying every day to get better at certain parts. And when I applied time and energy and intentionality towards understanding ladies' clothing, guess what happened? I got a little better. And the next day I got a little better. And I've delivered clothing and it fit, and they bought more. I'm like, oh, this actually works. And then I wasn't afraid to ask for, referrals for ladies. And then it wasn't weird for me to call them and say, hey, can I come by? So it really started to step by step by step, getting better and better and better, more confident, and incremental growth. And so now looking back, and I saw my sales grow, it's just because I decided that I wasn't going to allow excuses to get in the way.
Awesome. So I have some questions for our new or young lady partners. So one of the things, and these are going to be rogue questions too, so sorry, but one of the things that I think I've noticed, and one, me doing it myself, and then also having new partners do it, is just the ability to find names and prospect women at a easier level, since all of them aren't in the system in certain markets or whatever. But how have you noticed the prospecting of women being for you, and what are some things that you've really enjoyed about it, or what are some methods you've done to prospect at a high level for women?
One of my main things is referrals. I feel like you have to ask for referrals, and once you do get one or two female clients, like they are going to refer you to all their friends, and so that's a really good way to prospect. But also looking at directories, you can always tell if those like higher ups, if they are females, they most likely aren't going to be working with custom clothing, and so it's pretty easy to call them and say like, hey, this is what I do. I'd love to get in front of you. I'd love to meet you. But they take it as a compliment, that you're reaching out to these ladies that are very empowered already, and you're just there to help like improve their wardrobes. So.
Awesome. Claire, same question.
Definitely referrals makes, I think, the work easier in every aspect. I remember when I first started, I was so scared to call anybody on the phone. I think my leader told me to not call women because I was.
Who was it? Just kidding.
But she did it with very good reason, because if you're gonna call a woman and you don't have a referral, you need to be extremely confident in what you're saying on the phone. And at the time, I just was not confident on the phone at all. And I feel like men are, in general, gonna trust a voice on the phone a little bit easier than like a woman would. And so without having like a referral and not being confident on the phone, like I think I would do more drop-ins and like get more FaceTime, and even like attempting to float women was something that like they're gonna see a young, hardworking businesswoman, they're gonna give me a shot. But hearing me on the phone, maybe not always gonna give me a shot. Now, on the other hand, like I can call just about any lady and get through any objection. But I think that you're prospecting very similarly to how you would men, but I think even maybe not as qualified financially, prospecting those kinds of women, they're gonna have a higher need. So you can get in front of a woman that is gonna only buy executive collection, and I would be very happy with that. Whereas like my male clients, like I wanna get them in, like start at Royal Classic, right? But I feel like women have a higher desire for good fitting clothing, so it's easier to get in front of them, I think. So.
Cool. Well, thank you all for your time today and everything. And we'll have Becca come back up on stage. Thank you.
Thank you all. You did awesome. I still have a little bit to cover, so I'm going to try and go fast. I do feel, let's give them a round of applause real quick as they get back to their seats. Thank you. Okay, so what I'm going to cover next is some of the things they just talked about, but why should I grow my women's sales? And the first point to that is because it's the fastest growing area of our business. So what's really exciting is this past year was the equivalent of our third largest sales month as a company. This means that our potential for massive growth is in the future. When we start to take that yearly number and we start to make those yearly numbers monthly numbers, it's huge. The second reason is we have an untapped market. Women still have a limited opportunities to buy professional clothing out in the retail space. When you start to talk to women, you will hear them, they can't find a lot of suits, they can't find a lot of professional clothing, and they certainly can't find the quality of clothing that we provide. And most women don't even know that custom clothing is an option for them in your market. So you have a wide open audience that you need to capture. The next reason is it's simple. When you guys follow the methodologies that you'll learn this afternoon in your breakout sessions, we're gonna break down the whole process, how to start, what to show, and Danielle and Claire and Joe, awesome. You guys, we went through those methodologies in sales school, and I can tell you're doing it, and you're having success. So, way to stick to that. I also do want to say this. So, I've had a couple side conversations at this meeting specifically, people who have mentioned different challenges to me that maybe they've started to come across. And so, you've potentially backed away from calling more women. I want to encourage you to lean into what Todd asked us to do this year. He asked us to never give up. He asked us to make adjustments. And what Jordan said earlier this afternoon is to commit. Our top performers didn't give up when they ran into a learning opportunity. We're all learning, we're all adjusting, we're all growing. So do not get discouraged, okay? There's plenty of people here that are willing to help counsel you. Okay, the next point is women buy more. So I was doing a little online research, and women drive 70 to 80% of consumer spending. That leaves 20 to 30% for men. So why would not you want to be in front of the person who is doing 70 to 80% of the spending? I don't ask my husband what I can buy. I just buy it. But he certainly asked me. Okay? Okay. So you don't get that objection. You guys, and I love to hear, ladies, you're committing to growing your sales to 50% men and women. I did the same thing. Craig advised me in 2020 to grow my women's business to 50% women. And what I have found over the past 4 years is that my sales have increased because my women clients started buying more clothing and finer clothing. And in turn, that gave me confidence to start showing my male clients similar ideas, nicer clothing, finer clothing, ideas that they just might like. I stopped selling out of my own pocket, so it helped me change my thinking. And I started serving all of my clients differently and started showing them wardrobes, building wardrobes. My top client's a woman. She spends over $100,000 a year. 6 out of my top 10 clients are ladies. And what's really fun is when women, like I mentioned earlier, they just make a decision to buy that day. They don't have to think about it. The other thing, I know Craig mentioned this years ago, but working with women also provides you a stability in your business. So women, when there's a downturn in the economy, their budget for spending doesn't really change. Where dad's budget, it's the first thing that goes when there's a downturn. So, I mean, I don't know who wrote those rules, but they work out for me. So, and for you if you sell women. Okay, the next reason is fewer alterations. This should really be a longer session because I am liking talking about this. Okay, selling women, fewer alterations. So the other thing that selling women does for your business, as it did for mine, is in 2020 my nonconformance was 4.2%. My sales have grown to women, and my nonconformance has gone down to 2.5%. This speaks to how well designed our modeled products really are. My job is to keep it simple and provide accurate measurements. So I think working with women and selling our model garments can do the exact same thing for you, and your nonconformance can also be lowered. They talked about more referrals. So just like that Stanley Cup I brought up here earlier on stage, women like to share what they buy, how they buy it, where they buy it. They post on social media. You guys probably have already seen a ton of pictures about CEO dinner last night. Probably posted by women. Okay? We like to share. So do you want the word to get out about your business this season? And the last point is it's fun. I can't tell you how many calls I've received from you all in this room saying that I can't believe how fun it is to work with women. They're expressive, they share their gratitude, they thank you for making them feel confident for a big meeting or whatever it has. We're emotional beings, and it's really fun to develop that emotional relationship with your clients. And Todd asked us to have fun. Okay, so we're gonna talk about a couple quick tools. So next slide. The first one we're gonna give you is wardrobe evaluations. And so Gus Simpson did a ton of work on this, and what we wanted to do is we wanted to model it very closely to the men's wardrobe plan so that it's simple and it's, easy. As you take a look at it though, you'll see where the highlighted black boxes are. It's a little bit different than what you see on the men's. What we've highlighted is where to start. So this tells you where to start your conversation with the client. A navy solid, an earth tone solid, a black solid, just what a lot of them shared up here on the stage not that long ago. When you look over in the jacket sections, it's highlighted micro and macro patterns. So you start with one of those core solids, and then you can add on pattern. Why did I change my outfit? Capsule wardrobe. Very good. Ding, ding, ding. Okay? One jacket. Let's go to the, you know what? I skipped this, sorry. Okay, on the back side, this is what's different. There's 10 different boxes here. You see a little sun and a little snowflake, which I think is so cute. So different seasons, but business daily, business social, there's 10 different ideas for you to create capsules. Do not freak out about the word capsule. Capsule is outfits, okay? A capsule creates outfits. It's a wardrobe. So this gives you 10 stories to talk to your clients about this season. This is where you should start. Wardrobe D, or capsule D. It's one jacket, right? My white jacket I had on, my white pants, now I have on a black pant, and I had 2 tops. I just showed you on stage a capsule D. Simple. Here's the illustrations we had done of Heather that are beautiful. Yes, thank you, Heather. So you will have these images in a starter folder for you to take this season. They're going to be in your breakout sessions. It'll have the fabrics that have a little bit of stretch, and it will show the pictures so you can explain what a capsule is to your clients. It's just a couple core pieces that when you mix and match, you can create multiple looks. That makes sense to women. You're building a wardrobe. That's where you should start. Okay? So, we're going to spend time on this afternoon. I want to extend a huge thank you to the Women's Initiative team. Can you all stand so we can give them a quick round of applause? Sarah, Ryden, Molly, Tiffany, Jill, Blaine. Thank you. Okay, so all of you are going to head to your sessions this afternoon, and let's make this spring season a story of growth. Decide to grow, never give up, and have fun. Thank you.
Wait. Slow down.
Not yet. Almost. You got announcements, y'all. Is there some things going on tonight that y'all know about? Well, I hope you're more excited than that. Are y'all going to the company party at Old Red tonight? Nice. That's what I want to hear. So at 6:30 tonight is going to be the company party, all right? Dress code, honky-tonk Nash Vegas style. Examples of that. Some fringe, some cowboy boots, your denim, your sequins, your cowboy hats, leather, western wear, whatever y'all got, make it fun, okay? Now, walking distance is less than 9 minutes. There's no transportation. The directions are in your emails. Y'all hear it already? I didn't think so. It's already in your emails, so it's ready to go for you, all right? Super simple. Now, don't forget, you get drink tickets, all right? You can get 2 drink tickets per person and per your registered guest at registration. So if you haven't already registered and asked for that, go ahead and do that before tonight. Cool? So the darker green is for the party tonight. The light green is for formal tomorrow. Is that correct? I hope so. Orange? Bring them all. They'll tell you what you can and cannot use. I didn't get an orange ticket. Y'all are special. Now, if you lose it or you forget to bring them, guess what? You better bring some cash because there is going to be a cash bar available, but none of the tickets are going to be like replaced or anything like that. All right? Cool? Cool. Next, like she said, we got our breakout sessions. This is all going to be focusing on women's business, y'all. So that's going to be starting pretty sharp here at 2:15. So scoot quickly to your session on that. And don't forget your playbooks. Take a lot of notes. Have fun, y'all, today and this evening.